It always comes to this. Morning guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I'd obviously mentioned blacking out my chest piece, and I got all kinds of reactions, mixed, we'll say. Some people expected it, and some people didn't, and some people imagine I've got things planned, and other people think it's on purpose, and I had every kind of reaction. I had all kinds of hate and disinterest and misdirection, and some people think it looks cool the way it is, and everything in between. I expected that. Whenever you change something fairly iconic, you're going to get that. You're going to get people upset, and I think I had grown a little bored of the piece, and a lot of people were more interested in it than I was. We'll leave it at that. I kind of like the halo of it. I'm still liking that. I like the fact that while it's fading, it gets to look like something intentional or kind of cool. When I blacked out the skull door knockers I had around my nipples here, they had a very unintentionally kind of black halo around them. And I wasn't really so much a fan of how that looked. It was kind of like jarring, like it looked bad. I wasn't happy with it. This looks like we might have done it on purpose, or it was like an artistic decision we made. So I'm happy with that. And once it fades enough, we'll go over it again with design that I've talked about a little bit, but haven't fully revealed yet. So I don't need to recap that too much more. I'll move on. This week we went into this armpit again, and we didn't get much meaningful progress done. Honestly, I wasn't too happy with this session. That happens sometimes. It was very much like almost like what do I want to say about it? Like Groundhog Day type situation, where a lot of the black that we did with the dynamic in here needed to be re-blacked with the Panthera. It just wasn't that dark. So it wasn't a meaningfully huge reward for the pain. And again, I don't mind armpit tattoos, but it just kind of felt like we're relaying out the same territory again. So it is visibly a lot darker now, and I believe it's going to stay that way this time. But it just didn't feel like a lot of bang for my buck for pain. So, well, it's crucial work, and this area gets pretty aggravated pretty quick. So like you can only do so much at a time, especially working over all that old scarring that I've got in there. It just didn't feel that necessary or that interesting. So that was 2 hours lining and redarkening this armpit. I actually like the way this one looks a bit more, but this one needs the blacks done in here one more time, and a little bit more detail in the tongue, and then we're gonna do red on black in the tongues as well, red and white and black highlights. So I probably got 3, maybe 4 sessions left in either of them before I'm not done with them, but content for now, before we revisit them at a later time, kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, pain. Again, the armpit, I'd go 7. I'm never that bothered by armpits. I feel like I'm talking about my armpit tattoos every second week on here, but yeah, they're never that bad. So not much to say about that, other than the tissue swells pretty bad. And the next day I thought I might have a little bit of scabbing in there this time, right in here. It felt really chunky, but it ended up healing really well. So this is already peeled. I had these tattooed about, I want to say 5 days ago. As I'm doing this vlog, I just about had my rose touched up today. We just about did that today with another artist, Terry, who did my face tattoo extension and the third pass on the moon. We got to the end of the day, and just wasn't quite enough time to do it, but we'll be doing the second pass on the white, either tomorrow or the next time he's got a little bit of space at the end of the day or something. Should only take less than an hour to do, so that'll be probably the next update I'm doing here. I'm kind of excited about that one. The little tattoos, like the quick one and dones, are a lot of fun right now. Just kind of a change of pace from what I'm working on. I currently have 2 different artists that are working on designing sleeve for me right now that I'll probably get into on a semi-frequent basis fairly soon. I'm not sure which one I'm going to for that yet, whether it's going to be Terry or Scott being the guy I did the podcast with. But yeah, it'll be pretty cool to be working on something else where I think I do still want to do one of my sleeves with Rick. This project has still got a lot of life left in it, and blacking out this chest piece extended that by, I'm going to say, probably another 20 appointments by the time we start finally working on this chest, because it's going to be laying it out with black and then highlighting things, shading things, red, white, silver, all that stuff. It's going to be it's going to be a huge undertaking. So the torso is not going to be finished as soon as I was expecting, because every time we open up a new can of worms, we add another 20 sessions to the total. And that's why I think that this work can never really become that trendy or really take off in a way that it's accessible to everyone, because it's just going to be too much work. It's going to be too many sits. Even if you did long days, you can't layer that way. You can't do black and then white and then red and all that in one session. That has to be broken up into multiple outings. So I just think that that's not going to be appealing to many people. And maybe you just do one small one somewhere or something, but like a huge bodysuit of this stuff. I'm not saying I'm uniquely gifted for the challenge, but it's going to be a long way there. And if you get exhausted or stop at any point, it's just not going to work. You're not going to get there. So it's nice to be considering having kind of a break, doing something like my sleeves or these little one and dones, touching up my hands or whatever. Just kind of like a breather from the journey. Anyway, so yeah, where we're going next, I should say. I've got this week off from the torso. So Rick and I will be working on the tentacles again. We're probably going to do this guy and this one down here right away again. He wasn't super happy with how this one worked out last time, so we're going to be redoing it. That'll be the 3rd time we've done this guy now. We want it to be more like this one or the ones on my side, where they're like super well defined. It just sometimes the skin is a little more resistant, especially now where I have so much layering and so much scar tissue. Sometimes it just doesn't want to go in as well. So we got to be open to doing things multiple times, as I said. But yeah, we'll be doing this one probably first, and then we got to do this guy still. And then there's still some more to do over here too with this one. Once those are finally all shaded, because there's really only a few more of them, we can get into highlighting them. And yeah, then we can come back and highlight all the spaces in between the tentacles that we shaded. Those are all going to get white and silver highlights as well. And then of course we're going to have to do the white in the teeth as well again one more time, because even though they're standing out, we can make them pop more. We want to pop more, so that's the plan with that. And probably a 3rd pass on the red would probably help. Some of these are only one pass. This is only one pass red. It gets a little confusing when you have so much going on. Like, how many times have we done this one? Oh yeah, it's this many. Anyway, yeah, so we got that to do. I will say we had that little bit of the key still in this tooth here, like, because the tooth and key were kind of one piece, the key sitting in front of the tooth. So this session, Rick did the same thing he did with these skulls over here maybe a year ago. He just covered up the little key and turned it into part of the tooth. While he was there, he actually put a little bit more black and a little bit of yellow, like a bone yellow, in the teeth here to more convincingly cover up the skulls that were there. And if you look closely at this angle, I've only noticed this when I'm doing these videos, honestly, but Rick did a bit of a design to the nipple when we were there. where he made it part of the shading that we had, which I think is kind of cool. Kind of turned these nipples into part of the suit. They stayed super black, by the way. I wasn't sure how it was going to shake out, but they ended up being little like black holes. They're about the blackest thing on me now. So I'm pretty stoked on that, and I'm definitely not willing to pierce them again because I don't want to mess them up. Anyway, yeah, I'm at the end of a long day here, and I had this tattoo to talk about, and I didn't have a whole lot to say about it because I've talked for days about my armpits as it is. So, but yeah, just showing off how the chest is settling. It's a little less like, I guess, when you first get something tattooed and it's healing, it's got that dry shine to it. It still has a bit of that, but it's a little less now. It's difficult to say how long it's going to be this visible. But again, not hating it. It kind of looks, it has its own look. Like, I'm happy to have this stage with it. It's almost like a grieving or like a mourning of something you once knew. It's a weird thing. But yeah, I don't expect the people, because like, obviously when you do a YouTube video or Instagram post or TikTok or whatever, you don't reach everyone right away. So it takes a while for everybody that's following you to finally see that you've done something like this. So I don't expect that the weird hate, animosity, and just curiosity is going to stop anytime soon. So I anticipate quite a bit more of that over the coming weeks and months. And I'm not hating it, because I feel like a big part of what my platform was always about was change, and some of that is going to upset people. So I'm more than happy to remind them of that. And it's been nothing but positive and creating new things lately. So I think I was due to subvert some people's expectations. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon, and have a great day.